Hi, welcome to episode 202 of the Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode and every episode show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop where I sell my handspun yarns called The Corner of Knit and Tea. And we have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea. If you haven't come over and joined us, you really should. So hi, how are you? It is Sunday, October 7th. The weather has turned here to be cooler. We were back up in the 80s and 90s this week, but this weekend has been rain and thunderstorms and 50s and 60s, and it is starting to feel like fall. While we were out today running errands, I noticed a couple of the trees are starting to change. And I do think about mid-month is usually when the trees are beautiful, like 16th, 17th, 20th, right around there is about when it generally turns here. So I'm excited to see what the next few weeks bring because it should be beautiful. Otherwise, it has been kind of a quiet week. I did a lot of working at home. I went to, I'm still going to my old office job one day a week to help them out until they get a replacement. So I did that. I did not exercise as much as I should have this week, and now I'm feeling a little sorry about that because it's supposed to rain for the next several days, and I prefer to be outside if I'm going to go for a walk. But we'll take that as it comes. So I hope you guys are doing well. I have lots of things to show you, and I actually brought something today that you haven't seen before to talk about. So let's get to the podcast. Today I am drinking masala chai from Adagio Teas. You know my love of spicy teas, and every time it gets cold I want my spicy tea. I am drinking it in my Carl Mountford Batman Skills mug. I got this on Society 6. Sometimes he has them available, sometimes he has other designs available. I know that there is a Thor knitting, and I think there was a Wonder Woman knitting as well. But Batman was what was there when I ordered it. So that is the one that I really like. So yeah, I'm getting into all of our cool weather stuff. I'm making chili today in the crock pot, and I baked banana bread this afternoon, and pretty soon I'm going to bake corn muffins to go with the chili. So it is all fall, and I'm enjoying a good excuse to sit on the couch and knit. Which brings me to the knits. So I have one finished knit this week. I can't remember if I showed you the skein last week. Oh, I think I had just started the brim last week, or maybe just gotten past the brim last week. This is the Copycat CC Beanie by Emily Ingrid, and I had knit one of these for my niece Roxy a few weeks ago, and when I posted it on Instagram, my sister was like, wow, that's great, she'll love it, I love it, and I was like, do you want one? And she's like, I wouldn't turn you down. So she's getting one. This is Squoosh Ultra Worsted, which I love that base. It is super squishy, it is super wash, and it is just a great base. I got mine from Eat Sleep Knit. I had some credit there, so I picked up a single skein. This is the... Hang on, it'll come to me. It will come to me. Event Horizon. It is a nice teal, and it is a little bit modeled like it was kettle dyed. So it's got just a little subtle variation, and of course a big pom-pom, and I pretty much used up the entire skein. There was like just enough left to tie the pom-pom to the hat. So that is 220 yards in and out really quickly. It is a big squishy hat, and I might actually need one for me because it is so lovely, and all of a sudden it's getting chilly here. So I didn't do the double brim on Roxy's, mostly because I thought it would be a little too much for her. It's a lot of extra bulk. But my sister sometimes goes out and waits for the train in Chicago on the L platforms, so I decided to do the double brim for her. I don't know whether I'd do it for me or not. It does make it awfully squishy. So that is what is going on here, and that is for her. So that's my only finished knit this week, and then I have a lot of progress on knits. So first I'll show you the things you have seen before. This is my Humulus. I think I was close to the bottom last week. I had just the bottom ribbing to go and the bind off. I did that this week. I did not start on the sleeve because I decided to work on a different project, but I will show you what that is. This is for the holiday, or the Brown Sheep Fall Sweater Along. It is being hosted in my group, sponsored by Brown Sheep. The deal is you knit a sweater, any size sweater, any weight yarn sweater, and all you have to do is use Brown Sheep yarn, and you'll be, if you finish, you'll be entered to win a prize. The grand prize is a sweater's quantity of Lamb's Pride from Brown Sheep, and then we also have some prizes from Eucalan and Knitter's Pride as well. That contest runs from September 1st through November 30th, so it is only October 7th. You still have more than a month and a half to knit a sweater, and if an adult sweater is too challenging, try a baby sweater or a child sweater. I hope that I will finish this one this month. I just have the sleeves left, and the sleeves are pretty plain. Like I said, this is my Humulus. The gray is, I believe it's either Cloudy Day or Rain Cloud. I cannot remember. I will have to pull that back up. And the pink for the color work is Coneflower. And then I think I'm going to add just a simple stripe on the sleeves right near the cuffs, which is what the pattern recommends to do. So it is, it fits really nicely. I did try it on, and I'm just really excited to have this in the rotation, especially now that it's getting chilly. So that is my Humulus for the CKT Brown Sheep Sweater Along. You can find the tag on Instagram and all the information in the Ravelry group. Like I said, come join us. It's not too late. Which also leads into a little bit, this week, the group for Nanny Swaymo kicked off. National Knit a Sweater Month is knit a sweater with 50,000 stitches in the month of November, and you can be eligible to win some prizes. It was conceived by Shannon Oakey, who is Knit Girl. That was many, many years ago, to sort of compete with NaNoWriMo, which is National Write a Novel Month, or National Novel Writing Month. Which also takes place in November and is 50,000 words. So the group got, a few people in the group got excited this week because Nanny Swaymo is just a few weeks away. It begins November 1st and runs through November 30th. I am a moderator over there. You can double dip. So if you want to knit a Nanny Swaymo sweater, pull out some Brown Sheep and let's go for it. Since my Brown Sheep sweater will be done, I will probably knit another sweater out of something I have in the stash. I have not decided yet, although I am leaning towards, I have some Lammy Toes speckled sport weight, and I'm thinking about making a pretty simple cardigan. I also have some other sweaters in the stash that I would like to finish, so that will probably also be a goal for next month. But there are plenty of sweater and fall knit-alongs, and you are welcome to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, and whatever comes after that, dip, but come join us. So the final thing that I worked on this week, well, okay, the next to final thing that I worked on this week was some yarn that I showed you last week. I cast on a pair of socks in my Mountain Colors Twizzle Foot sock, which is this beautiful silk and merino sock yarn in the colorway Snapdragon. It is like pinks and purples and oranges, and I am doing the London Bee Ridge socks, London Bridge, from Knitting Expat. And it is just a simple stockinette sock with some ridges, garter ridges. So as you can see, the color's pretty accurate. It's pink with some orange pops. It is called Snapdragon, and the sock is knitting up really beautifully. I hope to maybe finish the sock this week. I'll be out and about a little bit, so I may have some time to work on it. I've been working really hard this weekend getting one particular thing cranked out. That'll be next. But so this is what I've been working on when we've been in the car, and I've not been driving. My husband's been driving, and just kind of in snatches here and there. And this will probably be my like outside the house knitting lunch hour, etc. Sock this week. So, and I'm trying to get those done by the end of the month because I do owe them a review on that. So I'm really enjoying working with it. It's nice and super soft. I think it's going to make a nice cushy sock, and now that it's fall and I'm starting to think about cooler temperatures, I'm just really, really, really loving this. So, and I decided that since it is October, it is now time to use my Halloween bag, and this is my Halloween bag. It is from Kicks and Giggles, who I'm not sure Kim is still doing bags online, but it's I love this. I got it several years ago, and it's got all these little witches with googly eyes, and they're so much fun. Let's see if I can show you, here's one of the witches with googly eyes. They're so much fun, and I love my Halloween bag. So, the final project that I brought to show you is something that I have sort of alluded to and talked about, but not something that I have actually brought and shown you. And I'm hoping my sister is not watching this particular podcast. She tunes in occasionally and lets Roxy watch. But I am going to try and finish this tonight. I hope, block it this week and send it off with the kids' birthday sweaters next week. So my sister, had some health issues in the spring, and she was in and out of the hospital a little bit, and she lost a bunch of weight, so she was super thin. And she, all I could think of, because I couldn't really be there to help, was that I wanted to send her something warm and cozy. And of course, because I am a knitter, the best thing I could think of to do was to knit her a sweater. Now, so I ordered the yarn back in March and April, and then it took me most of the summer to think about knitting it, and so here we are right next to fall, which is fine because it'll come in handy now, and actually she is doing much better now, but I had started the sweater, so I need to finish this, and I'm gonna send it off to her. I am using, oh, I didn't bring any of the yarn. I am using Craftsy's House Blend, which is their Houseborn, and I am using their Superwash Worsted Twist. So it is a worsted weight yarn, and it is superwash, so she'll be able to throw it in the washer if she wants. And what I really, really, really wanted to do was knit her something that would be oversized and cozy. And so I selected the Snowbird sweater by Heidi Kermeyer. I actually knit one of these for myself out of handspun years ago. And mine came out ridiculously oversized because I was using handspun, and I sort of swatched, but not reliably, and my handspun grew and whatever, and it is basically a tent of a cozy sweater, and I will get a lot of wear out of it this fall and winter around my house, because it's not usually a sweater that I wear outside as much. Anyway, but I wanted something huge and cozy for her, and her favorite color is teal, kind of like me. So I ordered a sweater's quantity of the Superwash Worsted Twist in Caribbean Blue. And I started knitting the sweater, and I worked on it kind of steadily, well, on and off. And this last week, I have been ripping right through it. I have already worked, the skeins are, you know, I said worsted, but it might actually, I think it's DK weight. I think it's the DK twist. And the skeins are 260 yards a skein, and I've already knit a skein and a half in the last couple days, so that's quite a bit of knitting. But without further ado, here is her sweater. The sweater is a reverse stockinette with a built-in kind of rolling collar in stockinette, and the sleeves are also reverse stockinette, and then the trim is a stockinette with a little bit of garter to elongate it. It is a long sweater, like coat length. And then what I am doing right now is I am down at the bottom of the coat sweater, which also has kind of a matching garter, and I have 4 or 5 more rows to go on the body, and then I will bind off. And then the only thing I have left after that is I have 2 pocket linings. They have you do the pockets afterwards, and so I just need to cast those on, knit down about 4 inches, and then attach those, and then the sweater itself will be done. So I haven't been showing this a lot because I was kind of hoping to surprise her. I don't know at this point because I didn't think she was watching, and then when I saw her, when I saw her well, maybe not when I saw her, maybe when I was on the phone with her, she had mentioned that she had let Roxy watch a bit of the podcast. And I was like, oh, So, hopefully she won't be watching this episode. I will take pictures before I send it off, but this is my sister's sweater, which I have been working on for a while now. And I hope to finish, like I said this evening, I need to wind 1 more ball of yarn. and I need to do maybe like 5 or 6 more rows and then bind that off, and then I just need to do the pocket linings. And I have some ends to weave in on the bottom, but for the most part I wove in everything at the top and the collar and everything else, and I Kitchenered the back of the collar last night and got it all sewn in. So everything's looking really good, and I am really excited to finish this. It'll be a lot of yardage out, but I'm also excited to pack it up and send it to her. And the kids' birthdays are both in October, so I am sending them their sweaters, which you have already seen. And so I'm hoping to send them all in one big package this week, because as long as I'm sending one package, I might, or you know, as long as I'm sending a package, I might as well get it done so that I can send everything. So the only thing that I did differently on this one than I did the last time I made it is I made it a size smaller, because my sister is taller than I am, but she is much thinner, and especially around the shoulders and her torso and everything, she is much thinner around than I am. She usually wears the size small, so whereas for me, I think I made the size 38, for her I'm making the size 36. So hopefully it will fit. That's the only thing I'm a little bit nervous about, because I haven't tried it on because I don't want to stretch it. And I'm holding it up to myself and it looks pretty good, but of course I'm, you know, now I'm second guessing. Now I'm like, well, should I have made it the 38 so it would be big and warm and cozy? So hopefully she'll like it and it will fit, and she'll send me some photos. So that is what I'm going to work on to finish tonight. Next up on my needles. So I need to work on the sweater. I have a design that's in progress that I'm working on, but I will also cast on for another knit along that I want to be a part of. And that is the Briggs & Little Holiday Knit Along. Briggs & Little is a Canadian company, and they are one of the oldest wool mills in Canada. And I have worked with their yarn before, but this is Briggs & Little Heritage. They are sponsoring a holiday knit along, and I decided I wanted to participate. The holiday knit along has 2 categories, basically, garments and then accessories and other stuff. And the theme for holiday is you can knit something that is specifically holiday themed or holiday colored, or something you would use at the holidays, or you can just knit something that is meant to be given as a gift for the holidays or could celebrate the season. So it's pretty broad and generic. You could just knit yourself a sweater for the holidays. What I am doing is I picked 2 colors. I picked green heather and brown heather, and Wes needs more slippers. Yes, the slippers that are the bane of my existence. So I'm going to knit him some slippers and felt them. I've heard mixed reviews on actually being able to felt Heritage, which was too bad because I heard that after I bought it. Most people have said it will felt, but it takes 3 or 4 washes through the washing machine, which is kind of a bummer because my washing machine is now a top loader and will not felt at all because it has no agitator in the middle. So I will have to go to the laundromat to felt these, and if I have to go through 3 or 4 cycles, that's gonna be a while. But I am going to work on knitting these again. The pattern that I use, and I even went looking for a new pattern this year because I was getting so tired of knitting the old pattern because I've knitted so many times. The pattern is Felted Clogs by Fiber Trends. It's A133 by Bev Galeskis. So, and those are his, and so I hope to wind these up and get started on his. I'm hoping he's gonna like these. They smell super, super sheepy, so I'm hoping that once I wash them, they won't be terrible and he'll be okay with them. I think he will, because I think it will wear off after a while. He's just not like he's not a super wool person, but I was a little flummoxed because I usually use Cascade 220 and I'm trying not to use them now, so I was trying to find something else, and I thought I'd double dip into their knit along. So, and that one runs from September 15th through November 15th, so I need to get my booty in gear if I'm going to knit these in time for that. So that is what I will probably cast on this week. Once I need a smaller project too. Not that I don't have enough projects, but you know me, I usually have 3 or 4 projects on the needles at any given time. And if I finish Beth's sweater and the Humulus this month, then the only sweater I will still have on the needles is that one I was working on over the summer, which means I can totally cast on a new sweater for Nini Swaymo, right? So, sip of tea, and then let's move to spinning. This week I was spinning up the fiber that I posted as the giveaway in my episode 200 thread, or episode 200 giveaway to subscribers, and the winner asked for me to spin it up for her. So I went ahead and did that this week. The fiber is Southern Cross fiber. It was a Shetland, and it was a colorway that I was kind of hoarding from my club days. It's called Troubled Water, and it was purple and green, and then it also had some browns and a little bit of yellow and a little bit of orange. It was kind of a very muted rainbow. And so it is spun up. It is lovely. The yardage was pretty good. Again, I tried to ply just a little bit more lightly, and that is giving me a yarn that is quite a bit loftier, which I think is going to be more pleasant to knit with. I was finding towards the beginning, I was finding, especially during Tour de Fleece and stuff, that the stuff I was spinning, I was kind of overplying it. And in general, I like a really tight, like dense ply, but I was finding that sometimes it was a little bit overspun. So I've been trying to back off a little bit. I still think even after a couple years, I'm still finding my way with my mini spinner and exactly what the sweet spot is. So I really, really like this one, although this will be off to the winner this week. So that means that it's time for me to take on something new. And this was actually a fiber from this year's Fiber Club, which I was not a member of. And when it came out, I could have kicked myself. And I posted an in search of, and somebody decided to destash it, and was very lovely. Excuse me. I'm not bored. I am just tired. Anyway, this is called, it would be a good idea if I knew what it was called, Plot Twist. It is the July 2008, and the camera's blowing it out a little bit. It is turquoise and purple, and then this bright kind of swampy green, and it is amazing looking. I wanted it for the colors because it was such a beautiful, I mean, I'll just show you. There's that bright magenta purple, there's a darker purple, there's that bright turquoise, and then kind of a muted turquoise and some greens. It was just a gorgeous colorway, and I really, really wanted to get a chance to spin it. It is 80% merino, 20% cashmere. Cashmere so far has not been a great friend to me in spinning because the short staples are really short. I'm hoping that this blend will spin up fairly easily, and I'm going to try and challenge myself with it, and this one will go up in the shop when I am done. So I think that's it for this week. I had lots of knitting to show you. I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. I hope that maybe if it's getting towards fall where you are, you're getting to enjoy some cozy days knitting. My plan for this evening, since dinner is already in the crock pot, is just to sit back and work on the knit sweater, maybe start the new spin, and then start a new week. So I hope that you have a lovely week, and until I see you again, I will say as I always do, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.